Hey, what's up? This is Ronnie coming to you today with a video, and I'm just going to talk about some brands I do know that I no longer sell on eBay. For whatever reason, these brands just don't bring the money that they used to be. Maybe, we started 6, 7 years ago and pick up some of these brands. Some of you still do may, and some of you still may sell them for some money. But for us, our average cost of goods is about 8.75 per item that we pay, but we do buy a lot of suits and sport coats. We have to pay up for those items. But our average sale per item is also $68. So do the math, we're doing pretty well. That was for last year. Just did our books and so that's what it is. So getting into it, one of the brands that we used to pick up here and there, I never really had the greatest success for it, was Charles Tyrwhitt, I believe is the how you pronounce it. They make dress shirts. They're kind of they make other things too, like ties and suits and sport coats. But it seems like they discounted their own brand somewhat. If you go to their website, I think you can get like 4 shirts for $1.60 or something like that recently. So I mean, you're looking at getting a new shirt for $40 a shirt. I think retails on them like 110. So it's kind of hard to compete with that. You're getting a pre-owned shirt. It's kind of how are you gonna? Let's say your average cost of a store is $5 for a used shirt. What are you gonna get? $20 shipping charges. You're not making any money, and they kind of sit for a long period of time. So that's why I no longer pick up those shirts. Maybe a larger size or the slim fit or a nice pattern maybe would do well, but for the most part, I stay away from those. Haven't done well with those in a long time. Another brand that a lot of people talk about, a lot of people do well with. I've never really had much success with this brand, unless it was like newer tags. And even then, I've not done well. I kind of have to find the different, the unusual is Under Armour. Under Armour seems like a brand that got real hot probably, about 10 years ago. And I even had stock in this company at one time, like 2004. It took off. I had stock in Nike at the time too. It took off before getting out and having money in some other stupid companies like EMC and Lucent Technologies, which another show for another day. Let's keep on track here, Robbie. Keep on track. So Under Armour is one of those companies that just it seems like there's a lot out there of the item, and it seems like maybe the demand for that item's kind of fell off, and there's a lot of it out there. And another thing, I mean, they sell this at their own outlet store. You can go to any Marshalls, TJ Maxx, find this stuff. It's out there. You buy a new polo shirt for $30. It's not hard. So, we're just mainly talking about pre-owned clothing. It's kind of hard to, sell that stuff. Another brand that's fell off big time, that when we used to get into it, you'd find their jeans and sell real well. Other piece of clothing too was True Religion. And like most jeans in general, there's like a they're hip for a year or two and then they go out. If it's not Seven for All Mankind, um the one with the wings, Robin jeans. The jeans always come and go. Seems like they're hot for a year or two and they're out the door. Another brand comes along, another brand comes in. Nudie Jeans was one of those brands. It was hot for a while. You get good money. Now you can't. So a lot of these jean companies come and go. True Religion's one of those brands. I pass up almost everything from True Religion these days. Haven't picked up anything from them in a while. And I mean, and it's also a very highly faked brand. So on top of knowing if it's going to sell or not, you got to wonder if it's going to be fake or not. And now they make a lot of their pieces in China. They sell it at Marshalls. They've kind of devalued their brand somewhat. They filed bankruptcy, a year or two ago. So it's a brand I stay away from these days. Another brand, Tommy Bahama. People have talked about this brand since I got into reselling, especially men's clothing, we find that a lot around where we live. It's good money, people. But Tommy Bahama shirts, the thing is, people just see the name and they think, "Oh my God, I got money," not realizing that a plain yellow ass freaking Tommy Bahama shirt is not going to do well. It's not. Mm-mm. Button up shirts don't really do well. Has to be silk. Has to be sometimes a larger size. Has to have a great design to get it out there to push. Or the embroidered back designs kind of do somewhat well. They don't do as well as they did. There's just so much of that out there. And once again, it's not really that expensive new. You're looking at somewhere around $88 for a shirt, 110 for an embroidered one. Like, that's not big prices. And they sell these at their own outlet. Buy 3 for 100 I've seen when we were in Florida. Like, you can't compete with that. I pick them up occasionally here and there, and they sell. Luckily for us, we don't sit on those too long, but I really look for the different, unusual, larger sizes, great designs, stuff like that, or newer tags. But for the most part, I stay away from it. Another one that used to be real hot, kind of, that seemed like that whole fad kind of died off, was the vintage sports clothing. I'm not talking about like jerseys and some jackets, but like the sweaters. Everybody used to rock the cool or the t-shirts. A lot of that seems like it died off a little bit. I couldn't get some of the prices I tried a few years ago for some of that stuff. And a lot of the places around us price that stuff up to where it's really hard to make money on it. And vintage snapbacks have took a huge dive. There's still money in certain styles, and that's the thing. You have your sports authentic, sports specialty, I mean, or you have your Logo 7, but then you have your brand, and then you have your different models within it. You have your Splash or your Shark Tooth, or you have your Script, and so on and so forth. Certain ones do a lot better than others. Certain teams will do better than others. Condition is always, I'm not freaking restoring a freaking hat. You got to be crazy. Like, I know how to do it. I watched Global Voodoo's video. I've watched a few other people's videos. I've restored a hat or two, but you got to be kidding me. Like, I ain't doing that to resell a hat. Like, no. I've done it for my personal collection, but yeah, not going to happen. Unless it was something really, really special, which, forget about it. That market's kind of died off a little bit, big time. Used to be a great market. Still somewhat is if you find the right designs and so on and so forth. Ralph Lauren, another one. If you're just trying to peddle that basic Ralph Lauren shit, man, you in for a long day. You have to find the different, the unusual Ralph Lauren, or the higher end Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren has a bunch of different tiers of brands. If you want to look for it, we made a video on this a few years ago. Maybe we should make it again. Maybe we will, but it's there. It's in the archives. Go look it up. They have Purple Label, which is their kind of top. Then they have the Double R Ralph Lauren, which is, really well. It's kind of more Western inspired stuff. Really high end shit. And they get the Black Label. They have a lot of different sub labels that sell very well within the Ralph Lauren brand that command good money. But if you're just trying to peddle that basic Ralph Lauren shit, man, you in for a long day. And thrift stores kind of price that shit up too. And then if you know your vintage Polo Ralph Lauren, you can make some good money. We've sold sweaters for over $700, jackets for 500 plus. I mean, stuff's out there. Stuff is good. Like, I picked up this the other day, and this is just unusual. This is like a utility style jacket by Polo Ralph Lauren. You see that little pocket in the back. It's like a hunting jacket kind of deal. But what makes it special, it's 100% cashmere. So this will sell well. It's missing a few buttons. I don't know, I paid like $10 plus 20% off, but this is going to sell well. The only one I could find, some guy's asking $1,000. The guy's sniffing freaking coke if he thinks he's gonna hit $1,000 for that. I mean, it's high off his freaking ass. But it's gonna bring some money. What, 250, 300 maybe a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. Brooks Brothers, another one. You got to know what to pick up in Brooks Brothers. It seemed I got too caught up in this because I have way too many dress shirts in Brooks Brothers right now, just sitting there collecting dust. Like, picked them up, $5, $2.50, half off, not iron, slim fit. Hell yeah, I'm picking these up. I sell these. Seems like the last 3 months, can't sell them. Got new ones, can't sell them. Pick and choose what you pick up by Brooks Brothers. Not saying not to sell them because some people may have luck with them. I still push a few out here and there, $25, $30, bigger sizes, so on and so forth. They still move, but I've seen a slowdown with them in general. I kind of held on to these, or I kind of still pick these up for a long time, probably well past when they should. Look on eBay. These even new don't cost that much money. The newer tags ones, $70. I think some of the little newer ones are like $98. I mean, I can't expect to ask a lot of money when they're not a lot of money new. You know, most of the time you're lucky if you can get 50% for a new item off the tag. So what are you trying to peddle a used item for that same kind of price? So you really got to be really think about it. You know, Brooks Brothers does have some of their higher end stuff, and you kind of got to look for that stuff, like the 818 line. The menswear is somewhat good with the suits and sport coats. It does okay. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but I mean, stuff retails for like $800 to $1,200. Their Golden Fleece, and a lot of their older stuff says Golden Fleece, so you can't really go off of that. Is their made to order line? It's newer tags, says Golden Fleece on the tags. That's they're made to order, like suits and sport coats. Then you have the Black Fleece line, which is helped also with Tom Brownie, which does well, which is probably their highest level of stuff. But that's discontinued at the moment. I don't think they're coming back out with that. But you find that stuff still does well. I mean, I just bought 5 or 6 dress shirts from a guy for like $50 shipped and sold one shirt that's going to pay for the whole lot. So with that being said, so you got to really be picky with the Brooks Brothers stuff. Another one that kind of fell off somewhat. You got to really be picky and choosy with this one. And it kind of goes by their labels. You got to be more understanding of the labels and pick up the current stuff and not the old stuff. The old stuff sits, newer stuff kind of sells. Dress shirts kind of fell off big time. It's Helmeldo, Gildo, Zegna. I'll still pick this brand up, but it has to be really specific to an item. Sport coats and suits I pick up, but I'm very particular with these because they are out there. Even though they're a very expensive brand, they're out there. And if you could, you know, there's certain lines, like I think I picked up one recently. Where we go here? Here we go. I didn't think about showing any of the labels, but since we're here, this is one I picked up here, but you can see the pattern on this. This is a really nice Prince of Wales design. It has a nice little lavender like window pane on it, but this is a more newer label. And I mean newer. They made this label from 2003 to like 2013, 2014. So it's not even their newest label. And the label here, they even have a newer label than this right now. So you can see right here, that's their label right there. You know, then they have older stuff. The older stuff doesn't really sell well. This will do well, probably. It's like a tri-blend. It's wool, silk, and linen. Has a really nice design. Has the buttons that open up. This is going to do well. The surgeon cuff, so you're working button, whatever you want to call it. You got it. Gonna make some money. I feel like I'm gonna freaking take your order at the freaking deli over here. But you really got to pick and choose what you pick up from Zegna because there's a lot of it out there. I'll pick up the sweaters. I'll pick up the dress pants if they're newer tag stuff. I kind of stay away from the older stuff. Jeans I'll pick up. The dress shirts, the older ties, I stay away from, like the plague. No interest. It's like, yeah, stay away from it. Another brand that I've really never really had good luck with it is Paul Smith. I kind of stay away from that brand. I've heard some people had success with it. I really never had. I think I sold one shirt really well, and then I kind of went crazy and picked up anything I seen from it, and then they sat for a long time, whatever I found from them. And another one is like another one is just all these shirts that are grouped in together. Like Robert Graham still does well. It kind of fell off a little bit, but I think it's this whole umbrella of these kind of club shirts that kind of just like nobody's rocking these shirts anymore. Like they just that fad kind of disappeared. You had your Bugatti Umo, your Thomas Dean, your Taylor Bird, your Raw, your English Laundry. These heavily embroidered, ugly ass shirts, flip cuff. It's just not popping anymore unless you're driving living back in the time, think you're all cool driving an i8 that has the same drivetrain as a Mini Cooper. This shit ain't popping anymore. It's just not good. I mean, another thing that just doesn't sell for us anymore is Peter Millar. Very picky, very particular what we pick up with this brand. Button-up shirts, I kind of stay away from unless they're the Easy Care series. I think it's they're like a what do you want to call it? Like a wrinkle-free. Those ones do okay. Get 30-40 bucks for them. They're paying $5 or under. It's not that bad. I'll pick them up. They have a nice check pattern usually. Other than that, I stay away from it. And the cotton polos, I can't sell to save my life, or unless they have like a specific golf club logo on them. And there's certain golf club logos I'll pick up almost any shirt, like Sea Island or Los Angeles Country Club or something like that. I'll pick them up. Fisher Island, certain ones I've recognized over the years, they sell for good money. I'll pick them up, but for the most part, I stay away from it. Any cotton polo from Peter Millar. Just cotton polos, they're not in no more. Everybody wants that dry fit material. They don't want that shit. You really got to be particular with what you pick up. There's a brand, but you got to sometimes narrow it down even more. It's like Pendleton. Pendleton's a great brand for men's wool wear. But if you're buying anything else, women's, cotton, anything like that, not selling. Plain and simple, not selling. I can't give away women's Pendleton stuff, brand new with tags. Can't get rid of it. It's what it is. Another brand is Fashionable. I think it's pronounced Faconnable. I just pronounced it on Google. Google told me what it was pronounced. Like, I don't know. But that brand, pick it up sometimes. My wife loves it to give it to her brother and her father in the Dominican Republic. They think it's great. Go to Nordstrom's and stores like that. Has high price tags. I found this stuff new with tags, and it sells okay when it's new with tags. But when it's not new with tags, stuff takes forever to sell. And sometimes I have to give it away to sell it. I stay away from it. It's not worth it. They make really nice shirts. Like if I was a button-up kind of guy, I found one, nice design, maybe I rock it. And most of the thrift stores around us price that shit up way too high. I was just at a Savers not too long ago. I seen like 10 of them, and I was like, oh, you see the colors of the shirts, and right off the bat, like, oh, maybe you got something here. You go through them, you see the shirts, and you're like, oh, big letdown. And did I get everything? Oh, there was one more that's basically on their way there, and a lot of people may disagree with me about this, is Vineyard Vines. Vineyard Vines and actually Southern Tide are both in that downward slope in there. I mean, both of these brands 5 years ago were kind of newer. There wasn't as much stuff out there. They were very hot, very hip brands. A lot of people were into them. A lot of people love them. They're not very expensive shirts new. I mean, you're talking $60 for a polo, $70 for a polo. You're talking $90, $100 for a men's dress shirt. You can buy this stuff at Marshalls for 40 bucks. So I mean, that market's kind of coming down, and also there's so much more as this stuff is more available now. The stuff is out there. It's available. You see it all the time. It's nothing new. There's more and more stuff hitting it, and as things come, nothing stays. There's very few brands that stand the length of time to stay hip and stay in. Even brands like Ralph Lauren, a lot of people would say Ralph Lauren's probably been that brand that stayed equal. I remember when people didn't want to fuck with Ralph Lauren, like after that whole like early 90s, mid 90s, people in the late 90s, they weren't really messing with Ralph Lauren. And then it came back kind of a little bit. Same thing with Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger was the same way. I remember people loved that stuff. I used to have a lot of Tommy Hilfiger in the early to mid 90s. I don't remember what they did. They did something controversial. I don't remember what they did, but they kind of killed off their brand a little bit. Now they're kind of making this comeback. They've done a bunch of different collaborations with other different brands like Kish and other ones. But hey, what do I know? I'm just here making videos. But that's about it that I can think of off the top of my head. There's no other brands. I kind of sat down. I kind of thought about this for a little bit. But Vineyard Vines is on that downward spiral just because there's a lot out there, and it's become very cheaper now to buy that stuff new, which happens. As more stuff hits the market, it becomes more saturated, and the price kind of swoops down because now it's more stuff. It's kind of like for a brand like right now, Untuckit. Untuckit's a hot brand. A lot of people loving it. A lot of people buy it, but give it another year or two, that brand's going to be oversaturated. The price is going to go down to where it's going to probably not be worth picking up. And that's just going to be because there's more available in the secondhand market. And anytime there's more stuff available, the price goes down. There's nowhere for it to go. Because that's just how it is. The price is high because there's not a lot available. So, and I can already see somewhat that downward spiral. But like, comment, subscribe. That's it. See you guys later. Have a good day.